What's up, guys? All right, I've had a lot of comments and questions about this comparison, and today we're going to be doing it. What am I talking about? The SIG Legion 229 versus the Staccato C2. All right, so in my hands, these guns feel pretty similar, but I do have to give it a little bit of a nod to the SIG. Just like I did on my P, the SIG is more rounded. And sorry about the lighting, the trees are just blocking the sun. I'm trying to get it in the light, but the SIG is just more rounded. Now the Staccato, especially the C2 with this normal grip, it feels a little more blocky, even more blocky than the P did. The P has the tack grip. I ordered my P with the tack grip. And this grip, when you order the tack grip, they kind of round off the edges right here a little bit. And they don't do that as much with their normal grips. Now you do get used to this, and the magwell does help a little bit, but it still feels a little more chunky to me than the SIG does. But I can go ahead and show you how they're set up. I can't really talk about it. YouTube will demonetize the video, but you can see they're both set up basically identical. And I do not have it. Look, this is not pointed at my hand. These are essentially identical. Minus a couple of the optics brands. But let's put some rounds through them. Let's put 10 rounds through them. I'll talk about the triggers, and we'll talk about some recoil, and then we'll move it back out to 40 yards and see if I can hit that steel plate as good as I did with the P and the Zev 226. All right, guys, before we get started, I'm going to give a huge nod to the Staccato on ease of loading these magazines. Put 10 rounds of both magazines. The way these are made right here, where you can just slide the round in here and slide it back, it's kind of got like a little spread place. And this is more traditional. This magazine was way easier to load than this. They will both accept the 20 round magazines, and the 20 round magazines were essentially the same. But this 16 rounder and this 15 rounder SIG comparably, the Staccato wins that hands down. Hands down. All right, let's put 10 rounds through the Staccato and then 10 rounds through the SIG. We'll just see which one actually feels better. Right on the money. This gun has always been accurate. The SIG's been accurate, but where you put the dot, where you're gonna hit. Okay, next up is the SIG Legion 229. Got 10 rounds in it. Let's see how the recoil feels on this. I think this gun was a little less snappy than the Staccato. Now, when I did the Zev 226 and the P video, I said they were pretty much equal, but the weight of this smaller gun, in my opinion, made it feel like it was a little less snappy. Let's take a look at the triggers. Okay, guys, so this gun has an ambi safety. This gun came with an ambi safety, but I didn't like how the safety felt, so I sent it back to Staccato, and they actually replaced it with a single-sided safety. But they are both single-action only pistols, and they both have amazing triggers. But let's take a look at those triggers and see which one is actually a little bit better. All right, so first of all, I'm stepping on a stick. You can feel the detent, or you can hear the detent in that. It is very, very positive. I have this gun set up for concealed carry because I actually do concealed carry this gun some. Let's check it, make sure it's empty. The SIGs will never be as smooth as Staccatos. They just will never be. But let's take a look at it. It does have a grip safety you have to depress, just like the P. Very, very little take up. Then it just breaks. I mean, it's just nothing on that break. Reset, crazy short. Just like all Staccatos that I have ever shot. Now, if we go to the SIG, you can just hear the difference. The SIG is just not as smooth as the Staccato is. But the safety is still positive, just not quite as positive as the SIG is, or the Staccato is, but I would still carry this pistol any day of the week. All right. Very, very little take up. You have that crisp break right there. I honestly, the take up on these two guns are almost identical. I mean, there's just no take up. This one might be just a little longer, but it's so smooth you don't tell a difference. Reset, I think the SIG has a better or quicker reset. I've said this many times. SIG does the short reset triggers in these guns to perfection, and they really do. It'd be hard to say which one is actually shorter because they're both so short you about can't even tell it. But you're never probably going to be shooting and outshoot your reset because they're so short. Any movement of the trigger finger is going to actually reset it. All right, so what I want to do now is the same thing I did in the other video. I want to actually stretch it out to about 42 yards and see if I can hit this 12-inch steel plate I have up here. But let's talk about presentation real quick. When I present the SIG, the dot is there. When I present, and it's supposed to be there, but if you do a lot of practice and training, you know, your dot's going to be there. But some guns are just easier than others. When I present the Staccato, the dot is not always in the window. This chunkier grip will sometimes throw my dot off. Now, it comes back quick, but there's been a couple times when I was just doing that it wasn't in the window, and every time that I have pulled the SIG up, well, that time it wasn't. There we go. I'm just drawing it from like appendix. The dot is just right there. The ergonomics of the SIG fit my hand just a little bit better. And as far as recoil goes, like I said, I think the SIG felt like it had a little bit less recoil. I'm not knocking Staccato in either one of these videos. I bought both these guns. Neither one will I ever get rid of. They are amazing pistols, and I would trust my life to either Staccato. It just seems like right now the SIG just fits my hand a little better. If I train with a Staccato a lot, you know, if I shot it all the time, which I don't shoot a lot of guns all the time because I have so many I have to review that, you know, I don't get a chance to train with them as much as I'd like to. I'm sure that I would get very used to that, because even right now, that dot was a little left, but it was still in the glass. The more I use this, the better I get with it. But I still say the SIG fits my hand a little better. You may be different. But for me, the SIG fits my hand a little better. Let's put 10 rounds in the magazine, back up to 42 yards. Let's see if I can hit that steel target as good as I could with the P and the ZEV. All right, guys, just like we did a minute ago, we're going to start with the C2 first. We're about 42 yards right here-ish, if I can remember correctly. And we're going to see how many times we can ding that steel plate down. It's like a 12-inch steel plate at 40 yards, just about as far as I can get, unless I get up in the road, and I'm not going to do that. So let's see how far we can actually, how many times we can actually hit this plate. I suspect at least 9 out of 10, like the other one was. Missed the last one, but 9 out of 10. Not a bad run at 40 yards. I still think on like a normal size target, that would have been a hit. I missed a little high, but not bad. 40 yards, 9 out of 10. All right, next, SIG 229 Legion. I predict about the same thing for this. I've been 9 out of 10 with every gun I've shot at this distance so far, so it's reasonable to say 9 out of 10 again. I forever ride that slide stop. But 9 out of 10, I missed the first one. Instead of missing one through the middle, I missed the first, still 9 out of 10. I'll take that at 40 yards with as quick as I was shooting. And those are pretty decent. I can take you down there and show you the groupings that I was shooting if you want, but I've got a bunch of shots on it from the other pistols as well. But we'll go take a look at it. I didn't show you in the other video, but this has all of them from the other ones as well. Okay guys, so I didn't show you this in the other video, but you can see where I got a little left on one, but I think this was where I was shooting the P. The P was really grouping right there perfect. I was shooting a little high with the P, but it was putting them in there, and then everything else was down here, and then I'd miss a little higher, a little lower one. Some of them I couldn't tell. But at 40 yards, I mean, that's a pretty small target right there. And they're all in the center mass, except some of the headshots. Okay guys, so out of these two guns, if I could only own one, which one would I own? You're gonna be surprised that I'm gonna say this, but I'm taking the C2. I think the C2 is just a better feeling gun, even though I feel like this might fit my hand a little better. I feel like I shoot this a little better, and I don't know, I just liked this gun better when I was shooting it. The recoil felt a little lighter on the 229 than it did the C2, but I felt like I just shot the C2 better. I felt like I was more accurate with the C2. And if I was only gonna have one and I was just gonna buy one, it would be the C2. But now you have to also figure in price. This gun, the way it sits right here, is probably around $1,800, $1,900. This gun is pushing 3,000, probably a little more than 3,000, 32, 3,300, very, very quickly. So there's literally almost double the price in these two guns. And you have to think about how much ammo you could buy for $1,500, $1,400, whatever the price difference is. You know, whatever you could, you know, price, wherever you can find it in your region, the price difference is definitely going to be over $1,200, $1,400 bucks. You can buy a lot of ammo and do a lot of training for $1,200 or $1,400. And I believe both these guns will be just as reliable as the other one is. I'm glad I own both, but if I couldn't own both, I would only own the C2. C2 is an amazing pistol. I would like to have a CS. That may happen one day, but for now, we'll just keep carrying the C2. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I appreciate you watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm. I love you guys. We'll see you next time.